Welcome back. I'm Andrew, your crypto guy on the internet. And sometimes to enjoy the taste of cake, you have to eat a little shit. And right now, let's get real. We are all eating some shit. It's bad, okay? So I just actually found the video of me like 2 months ago when Market Cipher printed a red blood diamond on Bitcoin's weekly chart for the first time ever. And back then, some people were panicking even though the blood diamond hadn't been confirmed yet. And in that video, I was like, all right, take it easy, people. Okay, it's not confirmed. We don't know yet. We'll be all right. Boy, did that play out. Okay, so we're at a record pace of, eight red weeks in a row. This is nasty. And if you're looking at, what is this, trend-based fib, we've been bouncing around. Let's go to the daily here. We've been bouncing around this range here for quite some time. But 2 weeks, we've been around the 30,000 range. Now, we've slipped back below to the bottom of the range. Okay, we should bounce right back up. 28 to 30, over and over, 28 to 30. By contrast, altcoins have taken a huge dump. My poor Avalanche is really suffering. But this is generally what happens in a bear market in the crypto world. People get out of altcoins and they go to the safest play, which is Bitcoin. Although Bitcoin is the least exciting, it is the safest move in the crypto world. So Bitcoin dominance is increasing. So meaning that if you were to compare every altcoin to Bitcoin, the altcoin is suffering on that comparison chart compared to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's holding steady. Like I said, it's on the bottom of this range, 28 to 30, past 2 weeks. And altcoins are bleeding out, as usual, during a bear market. And the stock market, how's that doing? Well, hang on. Let's get back to the main page. We'll get to this in a second. It's red. It's been red. The Dow has a little bit of a relief rally coming along. And then you see stores like Dollar General. Their stock was the best performer today. Generally not a good sign when a dollar store is the top of the market, People are struggling. And they can't afford things. And that, you have two main reasons for it. You have the hyperinflation, printing 10 years worth of money from the Fed in 1 year to get us out of this pandemic and through the forced lockdowns. And then to exacerbate all the pain even further, we have artificially increased prices of fuel here. And you already know the story, but some people think it was all like a layover from Trump's presidency or something. That's not what this is at all. And you're going like, okay, well, the price of crude is high for the world. Yes, but you can really change the price of gasoline locally based on your policies. And if you stop drilling for oil, that really increases the price because you're killing the supply. I mean, it's very simple to understand. So whether there was any debate on whether it was on purpose or this is just a series of unfortunate events with the gas prices being so high, Biden goes to Japan to have a little chit chat and lets it slip that what we're going through right now is part of an incredible transition, and at the end we'll be better for it and less reliant on fossil fuels. But then if you look at this same event, the way CNN described it, they talked about everything except that part. Like, you can't even find the word transition in the article. Isn't that weird? So I watched the whole thing, which was rough. It was tough to watch this whole thing happen. And I remember everything that was said. And both sides kind of focus on something to rile up their base. But the truth of the matter is this high gas price thing that we're dealing with is on purpose. And that's to force us into a greener future by not relying so much on fossil fuels. The issue is no one knows what the transition is going to. We don't know what's on the other side. There's no plan. So what do you replace oil and petroleum with? There is no replacement. Okay, so if you think that petroleum or gasoline is just for your car or airplanes, petroleum and oil-based products are everywhere. It's everything made of plastic, any kind of thing in plastic. Look around you, what has plastic in it? That's gone, okay? Then medications like antihistamines use crude oil, asphalt, crude oil, petroleum jelly, like any kind of fuel for any machine needs these products. Okay, so paper, is it wood, anything that requires a machine to operate. The machines need plastic parts, okay? So you basically force yourself back to the year 1815, before plastic was invented. I think, or maybe 1823. Either way, we're cowboys and Indians again. Like, that's where we're going. It's not that everybody has a Tesla all of a sudden. You can't build the Tesla without fuel or plastic. So I'm not really sure what Biden's incredible transition is transitioning into, but what I can see is all the pain it's causing everyone. So we are definitely in a recession, okay? If you look at, we're down 20% since the all-time highs on the NASDAQ. And the way this plays out is initially, the stock market only stresses out people with stocks. And your day-to-day life doesn't really change much. You look at your stock portfolio or your crypto portfolio, and it either puts you in a good mood or a bad mood for like 10 minutes, and then you just go on living. But if everything around you is now artificially increased in price for no real benefit, then it gets frustrating to the people on the ground level, just the day-to-day working folks. Okay, they're going, what the hell? Why is everything so expensive? This doesn't make any sense. And so stock people are upset, and regular people are upset, and often they're the same person, okay? And then, after the stock market falls, the next thing that happens is the housing market falls. And we're already seeing that cooling off too. People are already priced out of the market, although the prices should come down a little bit because the rates are going up, mortgage rates are going up, but we're still so high up there that cheaper homes, like first-time buyer homes, all got scooped up by corporations, like BlackRock or something, and then they just rent them out to people. So we have a nation of renters that can't afford food. Not a good look. And so then after the real estate market falls, then the job market falls. And this is the one that really makes the news, because now you have massive unemployment, and then you have massive crime. You know how schools are getting shot up again? We had 2 of these mass shootings in like 15 minutes. That's a side effect of mass frustration and anger. And the first thing the government wants to do is take away guns, right? Because that's the only thing in their way from locking us down like animals, like they are in China right now. So, I'm not going to get into that. But all this anger and frustration is a side effect from governments trying to help. So the best thing a government can do is stay out of your way. So let's get back onto the market stuff. What's the Fed going to do? Well, we're 2 for 2 on these so far. What I think is going to happen next for June? They're going to hit us again with another half a percentage point. Then in July, they're going to hit us with another half a percentage point. But then I think in September they're going to go easy, either a quarter of a point or nothing. Okay, because they can't keep hitting us the way things are going. It's going to capitulate completely, and the market, the way it's dumping, actually does a lot of the Fed's job for them in terms of restoring price stability, bringing down inflation. Because if we are at 8% inflation, really it's like 15, but if you're at 8% inflation, you would need to set the market rate at 9% to counter it and bring it back down, okay? But so even where we're at now, with what is this, like 1-2% or something at the end of the year, that's still not even close to what you need on its own. But the market can correct itself, which is painful. It's painful no matter what. So what I'm thinking is that the Fed hits us 2 more times right in a row, June and July, and then eases off a little in September. And that's right around the time, November, when we have our little midterm election thing. But the midterm election results don't even take effect until like January. So if you're hoping for some Republicans to come and save you, there won't be any effect on that. There are going to be a minimal effect in January. That might help with some crypto proposals or regulations. But beyond that, things are basically going to be the same until the end of this presidency. Then we'll see what will happen. But in terms of a bear markets tend to be shorter than bull markets in the U.S. Stock exchange, at least since I can measure. They tend to be a little shorter, but it's still painful. So assume that things are going to be some version of bad for at least a year, maybe longer. Okay, assume 2 years at the worst. So what am I doing? I'm getting another job. legit. So my bills are covered for the next 2 years, just as is. I can survive it. But you don't want to survive a bear market. You want to capitalize on the bear market. So, what am I doing? I'm getting a job, decent salary, so I won't be around as much, but it's brainless. It's like production design. It's nothing for me. And about 70% of my income will be spent DCAing this bear market. So I'm not going to go all in right away because I know we have a lot more room to bleed. But over the next year, 2 years, I'm going to be buying up all this fear while it's good. And then my altcoins, which are getting absolutely hammered, are all staked. So assuming they survive, at least they're worth, as long as they don't go to zero and they continue to exist through the bear market, I stand to win a lot, right? Because your staking pile grows exponentially over time. So by the end of this theoretical bear market, let's say worst case scenario, it lasts 2 years, okay? Horrible, it's so bad, but we live, it's just bad. By the end of that bear market, my portfolio just growing on its own would be 35% larger than it is now. That's through staking. That's not even buying anything. So if I compound that with DCAing, this is my plan, once the market recovers, and it always does, right? After you eat a lot of shit, you still get some cake as a reward. That cake will be extra sweet. I'll get an extra big piece of cake for myself because I bought in when everything was shitty. So that's the plan. Overall, guys, it's going to be rough. We're also looking at maybe getting into a tussle with China. Now, Biden, to his credit, did say something that was instantly walked back by the White House. But somebody asked Biden a question, and they're like, hey, if China invades Taiwan, will the United States respond with military action? And he goes, yes. He didn't go, well, yeah. He went, yes, very clearly. And that's what he should say. We're not going to accept another invasion from China or anybody. But then the White House went, hey, he's old. He says things. He didn't mean that. But he did mean that, and he should have meant that. Trump would say exactly that, and then he'd probably curse afterwards, and people would cheer. But that's the one cool thing that Biden did, which is actually really bad for market sentiment as well. Like, oh, geez, we got to go to war with China again now, too? Like, everybody's got to fight at the same time. Is there anything that's not horrible that's in our immediate future? Could you just go easy on us, please? So, yeah, Biden's in a tough spot. He put us all in a really bad spot. And so the best thing you can do is lower your bills. Don't buy those cool Jordans that you want. Freaking chill out, all right? Keep your shit together. Work a little extra if you can while you can. Stock up. We'll get through it. But that's my plan. I'm going to buy it cheap, DCA over the next year or two while lowering my daily bills the best I can because God knows everything's more expensive than it needs to be right now. So I wish you the best. Like I said, I'm always going to be with you through the good and the bad. These kind of moments in time put hair on your chest or whatever the female equivalent of that expression is. We're going to be okay, and we're going to do it together.